Hey everyone, Tony D with a hot take, a little bit early, trying to get some stuff done today. So I've been getting, I don't know why, but comments have disappeared off my YouTube, and I don't know why. There's, for those of you who don't know, when you have a channel, you can go behind the scenes of it and look at your comments, and you can set your YouTube to filter some comments. You can do all kinds of filtering, or you can allow YouTube to do it. I haven't done that. I've allowed all the comments, which is annoying because I got to get rid of my own spam. But you know, at some point you get annoyed and you'll ban the spammer or whatever. You know, censorship is a real thing on YouTube, and I call it censorship because, you know, if you're purely a private entity, you are allowed to censor. You're allowed to do whatever you want because it's your private thing. YouTube isn't 100% private because it has the protection of the government. You can't sue YouTube because it's considered a platform. Because of that, they have these protections, and they are being protected by the government. Because they're being protected by the government, they have absolutely no right, in my view, to censor anybody for any reason. But we'll see. Hopefully in Trump's second term, they're going to turn things around on that and pass some new law that'll require them to uphold freedom of speech on their platforms if they're going to be a platform or not. YouTube may be heading for a non-platform status anyway. For some reason, they've decided that they would make more money becoming the next Hulu, Amazon, Disney Plus, or whatever. Yeah, I know, right? Why didn't they just create a separate channel with a completely different name? Call it, I don't know, call it YouTube TV or something. And then market that with just original programming. You know, maybe take some of the best YouTubers and give them money and put them on there. And just build it. I mean, I don't understand why they have to destroy regular YouTube, which is content-driven. It's content creator-driven. It's idiots who just point a camera at things and then put it on the internet, like me. So this is what people want to see. They want to see randos. They discover random people who connect with them in some way, right? It's like, you know, so a lot of people say they like my voice, right? And I got kind of a radio voice, and, you know, I got a little training in that area. I could do the announcer at the raceway if I want to. Sunday, 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 see the biggest bud can on wheels. You know, I gotta warm up. I gotta warm up. Anyhow, my point is, people like to see random people. They don't like the practiced news thing anymore, or the practiced TV show anymore. They like to see like sort of the rough edges, because it's kind of fun and endearing if the people on the show are like actually invested in the show. You know what I mean? Now you can see that on a network show sometimes. You can see that there's real investment in a show. Like I used to like, and this is something that no one understands, but I actually used to like 2.5 Men. I mean, I liked the show. When Charlie Sheen was on it, because Charlie Sheen is that character. And he was so out of control, like even behind the scenes on the show, you know, it came out in his performance, which was hilarious because he's sort of that character. Then they kind of got into this big fight with him and got rid of him, and it was a whole thing. It kind of ruined the whole show for me. But it just so happened the rerun was on a time that I was eating dinner for like, I don't know, for like a year or two. It was just on at dinner for me, and I would put it on TV and watch it during dinner, and because there was nothing else to watch, or I was waiting for The Simpsons to come on, I think, and I'd watch it, and after watching 2 or 3 episodes, I was like, this show isn't that bad. I mean, it's a stupid show. It's dumb, but I kind of like it in that way. And I think that had a lot to do with you know, Charlie Sheen's performance, and John Cryer too. I think John Cryer is pretty earnest in his performance, and I think he really made the show. And even after Sheen left, he tried to make the show work, and he just couldn't. I don't think, but you know, so there's something to be said for people who are earnestly trying. You know, I never watched sports, but the one of the few times I did, I watched Sixers basketball with some of my friends at the time, because Allen Iverson, was playing for the Sixers. And the guy just really tried, like more than any other athlete I had seen in a while. Like, basketball to me is pretty boring. They go up the court, down the court, you know. And maybe there's a couple big plays, but it's generally boring. AI was trying to make every play. He looked like he was exhausting himself trying to get that ball in the hoop. And that was worth something to me. That was entertainment. That was like, wow, this guy's really trying. So you like appreciate that. And that's what I think you get on YouTube sometime. Like, you know, I watch Razor Fist, and I think he puts a lot of effort into his show, you know? He puts so much effort, and he obviously, you know, he's practiced. I don't think he puts, I don't think the stuff he's putting up is just a one-take thing. I think he's, you know, he's scripting it out, and he's practicing it, and then, you know, he does it, and you know, that's why he doesn't put up as many anymore. You know, there's kind of two kind of content creators. There's like me, you know, I'm like cranking out stuff. I'm more of like a crank out guy, kind of just half-ass do it, but I do a lot of it. So, so 20% of it's going to be cool. And then the other guys, they kind of like, no, everything has to be that 20% perfect. You know, I can't do that, because then I'll just, it will take me so long to get out a video. It'll drive me nuts that I don't have a new video. Plus, my channel isn't that big. If my channel gets bigger, that's probably where I would head, right? I would sort of refine things and then decide, okay, now I got to really up my ante, and, you know, and I'd sort of like make fewer videos, but they would be higher quality. You know, maybe I get a green screen. So it'd be funny if I got a green screen and then superimpose this background so it looks exactly the same. But you know, YouTube is, and the internet, really, it's really more the internet than YouTube. But YouTube sort of became the face of the internet for a while, and it's still kind of a good platform. But you know, it's on its way out. And Sticks and Hammer today was talking about a creator, I forget his name. I want to say Vincent James, I think. I don't really know that guy. But it's on one of his videos today, Sticks and Hammer 666, who you should watch. He's really good. And, you know, they kicked him off of YouTube. And there are guys who've been kicked off of YouTube. And, you know, there's an appeal process. But some of them don't even do it anymore, because now there's Bitchute, a thing called D Live, he mentioned. There's Twitch for the gamers. There's Library, Daily Motion, Brighteon. I think Venmo still has a thing for videos, and I'm sure there'll be more. I mean, there were a couple others that I think they don't function anymore, but you know, and I think each one's gonna slowly start to specialize, you know. And then you got the porn ones, and they're kind of like OnlyFans is kind of like that, I guess. I don't know, but you know, so YouTube's just eating away at its own future. You know, they could have just kept the YouTube. I mean, they could have divided things and sort of said, well, here is the rando content, and then here is our approved content creators. But I think we all know where that would have went. You know, the approved content creators would get, you know, next to nothing and embarrass YouTube, because people like, again, they like random stuff. It's hard to predict what people like, you know. As a creator, you're always sort of thinking about that, like, oh man, I'm going to make a video today. What do I make a video on that people will watch? You know, how do I duplicate the success of other successful videos? And sometimes you try it, and it just doesn't work. And you just go, well, what the hell happened? Like, you know, I had Battlefield 5 I did a video on, right? For a Screenwriter's Rant. And I got like 5,000-6,000 hits, and I was shocked. And I was like, wow, I got to do more video games things. And then I did a few more video games, you know, over the course of a couple of weeks. And like, I didn't get anywhere near the hits. And I'm just like, why aren't I getting the same amount of hits? Or like close. Like it just went right back down to where I was. And I was just like, what made that video somehow popular? I guess it was the game. Maybe the game was highly anticipated. Maybe it could be the timing. It could be, there's so many factors. You don't know. I mean, I always remember the Batman animated movie, Mask of the Phantasm, because I was doing my TV show in Philadelphia, the comic book show, for those of you who don't know. And we were reviewing stuff, and it was the winter time, and Mask of the Phantasm, I think, came out in like, I want to say it came out at Christmas in December, somewhere in there. Maybe January, I don't remember, but I watched it. I think we may have gotten an advanced preview of it, or it went to the premiere. And it was really good. And I thought, finally, you know, I was such a big fan of the animated series. I thought, finally, the animated series will get its due. People will go to the theater, they will see this, and they will go, wow, the Batman cartoon is amazing. This is what Batman should be. And, you know, it just didn't do well. The timing was weird. I think it came out against some other movies. It just didn't hit. And it was a shame, because it's a really good movie if you ever get a chance to look at it. If you're a fan of the animated series, it's a must. But you know, that's the way it goes. So getting back to YouTube, you have things that work, and it's so hard to find things that work. To purposely destroy the things that work because you want this other thing to work is the single worst content creator mistake you could possibly make, right? I don't know if I should tell this story, but I'll try to tell it without saying any names. I worked for a company, and they had a product that was wildly successful, but it wasn't the exact product they wanted to make. They wanted to make something that was in the realm, but it was different. So it would have been something along the lines of the difference between say a word processor that was dedicated just to typing manuscripts, and let's say a computer that could do word processing, but could also do some other things. And they were really successful at the former and not the latter. And they kept pushing away from what they were successful at. They still did it. I mean, they still do it, but they still try to do the other stuff. And they kind of always try to get away from their own success, it's just so weird to me. Like, you know, if I had a successful thing, I've always said, I would drive that car until it was in the ditch. Because that's what you have to do. That's what people want to see. They want to see you take it, you know, especially something story-driven. They want to see you take that to the bitter end. To the bitter end, you know? It would have been great to see an ending for, you know, some of the famous comic books by the guys who created them, to see what their vision was for the ending. But unfortunately, we never got to see that, because they just sort of drove it until the company said, oh, we'll take it from here. And then they just keep putting people, you know, on the art and writing team endlessly. But YouTube, you're killing the goose that laid the golden egg. I mean, you're just killing it. I mean, you're making gazillions of dollars. And this is what happens. Executives, they suck at their job, because they get into these meetings and they say, well, how can we make more money? Even though they're making money. And really, at the end of the day, those meetings are all about them. It's all about them keeping their job. It's all about a room full of people trying not to piss off the other people, trying to help, you know, make the people in charge feel like they're being supported. And you know, it has nothing to do with YouTube or, you know, the products they're doing, in my view. They're just constantly working for themselves and trying to get as much money and prestige. And if that means tearing down part of the company and agreeing with your boss's stupid ass idea of banning more people, then you're, oh yeah, boss, that's a great idea. Yeah, let's ban some more people. Oh, these people are terrible. Let's ban them. That's what you're going to do in order to line your own pocket. So at the end of the day, it's all about money. But I'm confident that something new will emerge after this damn election, and I can't wait for that to be over.